We've got a bumper deals unlock sale to bring you today that is absolutely stacked with great games, great prices, and just great all-round stuff. Just in time for the greater Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase.
First up, It Takes Two is a co-op only platformer that revolves around a married couple who are magically shrunk into tiny toy versions of themselves. Think Toy Story, only with more marital strife. It's quickly become one of the hit games of 2021, and it can now be yours for 25% less than usual. And you can throw in a friend pass, which lets one of your buddies join you online without even buying the game.
While we were all anxiously waiting to see more of the latest Battlefield, which has just been revealed by the way, now is the perfect time to check out the previous entry, especially now that it's a stonking 85% off. Battlefield 5 drops you into the trenches of the Second World War, fighting as everyone from a Norwegian resistance fighter to a Senegalese infantryman. It was a world war, after all.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the most acclaimed games of its generation, taking the epic scale and story from the first game and somehow managing to build an even more definitive Wild Western experience on top of it. It's a game where you can ride across the map 20 times over and still only have seen a fraction of what it has to offer, and it's now 55% off to boot.
With the entire rest of the Yakuza saga now available on Game Pass, it might take you a while to get to the latest entry, but when you do, you can enjoy a 30% discount. Like a Dragon mixes up the old formula with a brand new protagonist and a turn-based battle system rather than the classic brawling action, but it's still got the same vivid characters and wild sense of humour we've grown to expect. Plus, those fabulous 4K suits really do pop with the Xbox Series X and S's slick 4K display. No wonder it was my game of the year last year, by the way, folks.
Far Cry is another acclaimed FPS series with an upcoming installment we can't wait to see more of. But while they're putting their finishing touches on Giancarlo Esposito's sinister smile, why not take a trip back to Hope County in Far Cry 5? Now 85% off, the 5th game sees you facing off against a doomsday cult, which is always fun.
And while we're talking about first-person shooters, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War's cross-gen bundle is also 35% off. Cold War takes full advantage of the Series X's formidable hardware to provide an eye-watering 120 frames per second frame rate, which can make all the difference when you're trying to line up that perfect shot. Or it could just make your copious failures look even prettier. Both are pretty good in my eyes though.
If you want to spend your summer soaking in nostalgia, the Crash and Spyro triple play bundle is definitely the way to go, especially at half price. Featuring the gorgeous remasters of both classic cartoon platformer trilogies and the tuned-up version of Crash's iconic kart racer, this 7-game package is guaranteed to brighten up your summer even more.
The world of Gears has never looked better than it does in Gears 5 on the Xbox Series X and S's glorious 4K 60 display. I mean, it's still a largely war-torn nightmare covered in locust blood and bomb craters, but, still. The latest chapter in humanity's fight for survival is another total thrill ride and proudly upholds the series' reputation as one of the tightest cover-based shooters you will ever play. Prove me wrong in the comments if you can.
While most first-person games go the shooty route, Ghost Runner lets you slice and dice your way through the enemy as a modern-day ninja at 50% off this week. It's every bit as satisfying too, as you bounce between walls on your way to delivering that final blow. Plus, smart delivery means that when the next-gen version drops later this year, you'll be able to scoop it up at no extra cost.
Both a mythical story of one young warrior's desperate attempt to save her lover and a powerful depiction of what it's like to live with psychosis, Hellblade is a game which works on practically every level. And with an impressive sequel looking set to arrive in the future, this 75% discount couldn't be more timely.
LA Noir's gumshoe thriller was so much fun first time round that it was no surprise when they dusted off the cigarette ash to bring us a shiny new remaster. The game follows Detective Cole Phelps as his latest case takes him on a tour of the city's seedy underbelly, uncovering a massive conspiracy theory in the process. And for just half of the usual price, you can dive down that rabbit hole with him.
Sticking with the interactive story genre vibes now, the complete season of Life is Strange 2 is now also 60% off. It revolves around two young brothers trying to figure out their place in the world as life throws quite literally everything at them. And we do mean everything, by the way, including personal tragedy, police manhunts, and telekinetic powers.
Okay, got a question for you. Who would win in a fight? Dante from Devil May Cry or Spider-Man? It's a good question, an important question. Perhaps the most important question, and now you can find out the answer as Marvel vs. Capcom's Infinite pits both rosters against one another for a good old-fashioned arcade throwdown. And your ticket to some of the weirdest prize fights in history is now 75% off.
Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain took the legendary stealth series in a bold new direction, adding in a sprawling open world for you to sneak about in and a whole recruitment mechanic for you to train your own sneaky sidekicks with too. But it kept all the insane plot twists, weird villains, and slick gameplay, which the series made its name with, so it's all good. And even better, it's all 70% off.
Rayman is living proof that you don't need limbs to be a hero, and that apparently the vast majority of life's problems can be solved by punching. The iconic cartoon platform series looks better than ever in Legends, which is now 75% off. Seriously, just try not to fall in love with its toonish 2D art style and foot-tapping soundtrack. It can't be done.
Given that it comes from the sadistic folks behind the Souls games, you won't be surprised to learn that Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is mercilessly challenging. While your katana-wielding hero is far more nimble than the heroes from most From Software games, that largely means that you can charge towards your death in a more sprightly manner. And at least it's now 50% off, though the emotional cost of playing may vary.
If you've got the resolve to take on Sekiro's grueling challenge, maybe you made a stern enough stuff to make it through the Silent Hill HD collection as well. Now lovingly remastered, the classic horror series is even better equipped to send you scurrying out of the room with its eerie atmosphere and twisted monster design. May lose you several years off your lifespan, will cost you 75% off the usual price.
Combining a 3-for-1 with a half-price discount is a deal so good that it could make Noel Edmonds' head explode, and it gets even better when the 3 games in question are stellar Star Wars titles. Wage war in Battlefront 2, take to the skies in Squadrons, or fight for the fate of the Jedi in Fallen Order. Far and away the best Star Wars trilogy that doesn't end in Ewoks.
Finish him! No, wait, that's the other one. Hadouken! Celebrating 30 years of hurricane kicks, spinning pile drivers, and rising dragon fists, this Street Fighter collection is a must-have for any arcade fighting game connoisseur. Featuring an incredible selection of classic entries in the series, it's got just about everything you could ask for in a Street Fighter compilation, and it's now 50% off.
Sunset Overdrive takes place in a city that feels more like a playground, turning the end of the world into an awesome apocalypse, air quotes there, where there's little left to do but bounce between buildings, blasting away as many freaky mutant monsters as you possibly can, boasting all kinds of hilarious pop culture nods and perhaps one of the most ridiculous arsenals of weapons we've ever seen in the game. Sunset Overdrive is now officially 75% off, folks.
So there we have it. Amazingly, we're still just scratching the surface of what's on offer in the Deals Unlocked sale, so you'd best head over to the store yourself to check it out. Let us know what you'll be picking up in the comments, and hit subscribe to stay on top of all the latest Xbox news. Bye!